Hey busy people, today we're making creamy pasta with prawns, broccoli and fish. Funny story, or should I say backstory to this meal. My mom was visiting town and she wanted one of my pasta meals, and I decided to make this and then add in some of the things that she loves, which are prawns and broccoli. I just threw in the fish because I love fish anyway, or I just had some leftover fish and I decided to just use it up. Anyway, so here's how I made it, or here are the things that you'll need to make this recipe. You'll need pasta. Here I'm using penne pasta, or any pasta that has sort of hole would work for creamy pasta. Then I have some prawns, some broccoli florets, and some fish fillets that I have, cut in cubes or into tiny pieces. Then I have flour that I'll be dredging the fish in, some oregano. I also have Italian seasoning. Then I have black pepper. I'll also be using white pepper as well. I'll share a detailed video. And then I have garlic, and I have some parsley. Freshly chopped parsley works really well here. Then I have some cooking cream or heavy cream if you live outside Nigeria. Then I have some salt to season. I have scotch bonnet peppers. If you don't like heat, you can remove the seed from the peppers. And then I have butter. Yeah, so let's get cooking. Now into a pan I added a knob of butter, and once that was melted I added my prawns. I just wanted to cook the prawns for like a minute or two on each side, and so I carefully just layered them on the pan, and then drizzled the liquid from it. The prawns were already cleaned and washed by me anyway. Then I seasoned it lightly with black pepper and some salt. Then I crushed garlic. I mean, you don't really need a lot of seasoning for prawns. I wanted that fresh taste to still be there, like the prawny or the fishy taste to be there. So minimal seasoning is all that you need. Now once I was done cooking the prawns, I set that aside, and next up I blanched my broccoli. The reason why I like to blanch my broccoli is because I want the colors to be bright and all up in my face, and it's just a quick and easier way to cook broccoli. So I just blanched it in hot water for a minute, not more than a minute, because I was still going to stir fry it before putting it in the pan. So once that was done, if you want to see this my steamer, please let me know. It's a Joseph steamer, but I'll share another video of what my steamer looks like. Now once I brought that out of water and the water had drained, I added a knob of butter into the same pan I used to cook the prawns. I wanted that prawn flavor. Then I seasoned it with salt and black pepper, typically same seasoning that I used for the prawn, and then added some crushed garlic into it, and just moved it around in the pan just to get the flavor to sip into the broccoli, and then I set that aside. And the next thing I did was the same pan. We're using the same pan. We're not using multiple pans. This is a one pan meal, if you know what I mean. Then I wiped the pan and then added some oil into the pan. So while the oil was heating up, I seasoned my flour. I used black pepper and salt. I'm trying to use very minimal seasoning because I don't want any of the ingredients I'm using to overpower or affect the end product of what I'm trying to do. So once I was done with that, I forgot to mention that I seasoned the fish with just salt, but you can totally omit that. I find that when cooking fish or prawns, I like to use very minimal seasoning because I love that fresh taste that it still has. Anyway, I dredged the fish in prawn just like so, just allowed the fish to cover the flour to cover the fish, and then I proceeded to adding it into the hot oil, and just to get each side crispy and all fried up. So this is a color that I'm happy with this color. So next thing, I flip them to the other side just for the other side to cook and be properly crisped up. Now if you have a fish that is skinned, the better, but this was the fish that I had, so I just had to use it. The fillet fish I had, so I just had to use it. Now in another pot, I put water, salted water, and added my pasta. I don't need to tell you how to cook pasta because by now everybody should know how to cook pasta. Anyway, moving along, into a pan I added some butter, and of course I love garlic. I can't tell you how much I love garlic. I love garlic. So I added some garlic into the pan. I think as at this time my mom had arrived. Anyway, the pasta, because I'm not going to show it, I just wanted to say that I cooked the pasta and drained it and just set it aside and carried on with the rest of my cooking. Anyway, once I added the garlic, I then introduced my scotch bonnet peppers. If you don't like heat, you can totally omit this, but because my mom likes heat, so I added scotch bonnet peppers. Then I introduced my cream and then just stirred. Once you get to this stage, you'll just be wondering, is this thing going to incorporate? It will incorporate. So once it's been, properly incorporated, the butter and the cream, then I seasoned with oregano, Italian seasoning, some salt, some black pepper, and then white pepper. At this stage, trust your palate. I always say trust your palate. No matter the quantity or measurement I tell you to use, trust your palate. Do what works for you. Now, once the sauce has, thickened a bit, I then introduce my prawns and, allow that to cook in the sauce for just a minute or two or even less. We're not trying to overcook the prawn here. We still want, that firm texture to the prawn. Then I added the broccoli. Again, we're not trying to overcook any of these ingredients because they're already cooked. So this is just, a quick cook. Then I introduced the pasta. This pasta was really funny. It was a Nigerian brand that I got, and I promised myself that I wasn't going to use this brand again. It was just funny, just really funny. Anyway, so I added the pasta and I stirred it around just for a bit, and I stirred it around until it was incorporated, and then just to finish it off or to anyway, see me blabbing. Okay, so what I typically do is when I'm making creamy pasta, I typically just alternate between cream and pasta water. I forgot to mention that when you're making pasta, always reserve a cup of water, a cup of your pasta water. Your pasta water is like your meat stock. It helps to give your pasta body and to make your sauce have body and just help your sauce cling to the pasta, for lack of better words. Anyway, once that was done, I finished this off with some freshly chopped parsley. Fresh chopped parsley is the way to go because there's just some flavor that it gives your creamy pasta. So that was done, and this is typically ready to serve, ready to devour and all. But there's something that I always do with my creamy pasta, which is like my secret weapon, and I'm going to share that with you here. So listen up. Now, so the next time that you make creamy pasta, here's what I want you to do. Now take a grater or an orange, like a zester, and then zest your fresh lemon all over it. Please make sure you use imported before you go and use the local one and you turn out bitter. You say, a kitchen freak taught you wrong. So I like to zest my lemon over it. It gives it this fresh lemony taste. It just takes your pasta to the next, your creamy pasta to the next level. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you make it, and and I hope that you give this a try. And if you do, please let me know in the comment section what you thought about it, if you liked it, and if you enjoyed it. And until next time, please, while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and turn your post notification on. And that's it from me. And until next time, I love you, Monchos.